Hey guys, how's it going? Did I surprise y'all? I surprised me. That surprised me that I could get around that quick. Hi, Lisa, Ed. Who else we got on here? Tim, Grant, Andrea, Chastity. Y'all start tagging some because this is not a scheduled live. This is a spur of the moment, pop up, put your makeup on and fix your hair tan kind of live. Hey, Bobby Moon. Y'all start tagging some peeps because this is not our normal. And so it's just like a pop-up. Like, here we are. Hey, surprise. Tracy. I'm so glad to see you there. There's Chad Walton and Paul Buchanan and Bryce. Yay, here they come. I heard there's some news over at, where else? Polo Reef. So, we thought we might check it out and see what's happening over there at Polo Reef. Hey, Trevor. I'm glad to see you on here. Trevor is a new member, and he's actually local to me, just setting up his first saltwater tank. So, you guys welcome Trevor to the page. That's really exciting. I'm so glad to see you join. And Travis Hot Pants Travis Hot Pants Morrell. There we go. Our new moderator for Tank Talk. I hope you guys enjoyed the post earlier. We got to we quit while you can. It's addictive. It really is. But it's a lot of fun. Brings a lot of enjoyment. So there's Christopher. There's Ashley. Yay! There we are. Everybody's getting here now. So that's fantastic. I appreciate it. Now let's see if my special guest for news that's happening at Polo Reef. Let's see if he's on. Let me look and see. There's Ryan. I appreciate you guys tagging others. Thank you for tagging Shelly. Tyler Dodson. Yes, I can see them now. Yeah, I can see that comment anyway. I don't know if you commented before, but I can see that one. Let's see. Let's see if I can find them. Send me a request. How about, oh, there you are. I see it. You look like I do too. I just hope it's good news. Like, super good news. And who do we have? Hello, Eric.
Hello, Tyann. How are you?
I'm good. Where's the man of the hour?
Well, there's the tank of the hour.
I know, right? I'm embarrassed to even show mine when you're showing a 17,000 gallon tank.
So let's get the filter on for everybody.
News from Polo Reef, guys.
So my day personally started at 6:40 this morning, and had to go up to the shop and had some special stuff for the man of the hour here.
I seen him.
Hello.
Hey, Andrew. How's it going?
Oh, it's so busy. I can't wait till the house clears out and the night begins.
I see full house over here today at Polo Reef.
And Andrew, I thought you was going to say you can't wait for me to get there. What the crap?
It's been a lot of hectic stuff breaking, and I don't. Those days keep happening, but we're working on them.
Awesome. Well, tell us what's happening at Polo Reef.
So I can turn the camera on if you want to show them what's been going on, and I'll tell you the questions and answers as we go.
All right, good night, guys.
Good night. Good seeing everybody.
Can you hand me a Coke Zero so I can do this thing with a nice punch through it? All right, so we want to walk back there and see.
Yeah. Let's go out back. Everyone's a little bit orange. Yeah, we're gonna be orange today, Oompa Loompa style over at Polo Reef.
All right.
So this is one of the cubes. I don't know if you guys have heard with some on Andrew's page, but this tank very, very soon is no longer going to be here. And yeah, it'll probably be in the office, like you said, but there's going to be a 9-foot tank that's coming this way and then dropping down 4 feet. So Andrew has that tank currently being built right now.
Awesome.
So this has some of his deep water fish in here.
Beautiful.
We got 20 on right now.
Okay.
Where do we want to start? There's so much stuff going on today.
Exactly. We're going to start in the lab.
Yeah, let's go to the lab.
Think about which way we're going to go in. Doesn't matter. I don't think. All right.
All right, y'all, let's follow Andrew.
It's already blue. Did you guys see the side? Okay. All right.
So the lights change at this time of day.
Yes.
All right, guys. Good night.
Good night, guys.
Thank you. We had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 staff today for a Sunday.
Oh,
So-
my gosh.
That's what we call a full house over here at
Full
Polo
house.
Reef.
And it's Yelson's day off, isn't it?
Exactly.
Otherwise, it would have been 7.
That's right. See, it
So
takes 6 people to replace Yelson.
Yeah. So, good night, guys.
Good night.
We've been making a lot of adjustments and space in quarantine here, and we've been sterilizing and doing a lot of dipping for flatworms. So the last 2 days, we basically consolidated, cleaned, dipped, and freed up a full vat and a fraction for some of Eric's corals that came today. Eric, you want to do the video?
Sure, let's show them. So,
Want me to shut the flow down?
Hey.
yeah, let's show the flow down. So, Andrew, generally what I do for Andrew is I usually look out for very large, what we call Andrew-sized acros, and I try to find them very rare acros.
Uh-huh.
So, let's see if we can move the lights a little bit.
That's a huge piece.
So, yeah, they're like can size. Some are bigger. So, like, we bought them.
Flows and stuff that are very difficult to find.
So, like, this is a vivid
And something. It's crazy.
vivid insanity.
I forget what it is. Yeah, maybe.
But I mean, you can see the colors on it. I mean, this has only been in the tank for a couple hours. All the polyps are already coming out on pretty much everything. You know, we brought Garth Bonsais, Wolverines, Grandmaster Yodas. I mean,
Look at the size of the F-flow.
Yeah, the F-flow right here is just
That's
ginormous.
massive.
So I'll pick it up so you guys can see. But that's bigger than my hand.
Right.
So as we say, Andrew-sized corals.
That's right.
And then I don't know if you guys can all see the polyps are, vivid confetti. I'm sorry, Mike.
Vivid confetti.
You know, and you can see the polyps already just blooming on this guy right here.
That's beautiful.
You know, green slimers.
Rainbow loom in the back.
Rainbow loom in the back. Andrew's been asking me for a giant Fabia, so brought him that. I brought him a Cyphastria today. A really nice, very awkward growing.
Yellow herb.
Yeah. So
Scroll. Yep.
yeah, squirrel. Sometimes Andrew wants something weird and nobody else has, and you know, me and the rest of the team, we just go hunt it down and find it for him. You know, when the boss has the largest tank.
I've been looking for yellow squirrel.
So when he wants something and he wants something that no one has, it's a task, and you got to go find it for the boss.
For sure.
So we have. So this is what was all brought today. So they cleared this whole tank here.
And we freed up this whole vat in the bottom, other than the meat corals. We don't want to move. And we've moved them all. So let's go in the backpack.
All right. So you can see everything.
There's a lot of acro here on the bottom still, and noodles if they want to see what's going on here. I'll shut this flow down here.
Sweet.
So different Montes, chalices, more acro, stylo. This looks like it's a big R Monty over here. Looks like chili pepper Monty there. We have beach bum over here. And these are pieces generally, for us normal people in the hobby, you're probably getting a dime size of that, if maybe a quarter at best. But, we go hunting. We find people that are leaving the hobby for some odd reason, and if we find something spectacular, and it's the word that Andrew likes to use, we show them what's out there, and if so, then we try to make it work. We go buy down, tanks, whatnot. And this is the noodle tank up here.
They were all dipped today, so they're not so happy, but
yeah, they still look happy. So they dipped.
Now, Andrew, how long will those stay back there in the quarantine?
Some of them are literally just being stored until the 900 and 2500 are ready, and some of them are waiting for example, grow out tanks. So it really depends on what we have plans for the coral. They either go into, but in general, I would say 3 to 6 weeks of dipping and before they go into the display, unless we feel that it's actually more dangerous to do that versus put it in display, and that's a decision that we make literally piece by piece.
Right.
So pretty much, besides the chalices and Monty in this tank, in the 17,000, you won't see any of these, because this is just a really, really nice lunch for the angels and butterfly.
Yeah.
So a lot of these will go into the new 900 gallon drop down?
Yeah, and the 2500.
And the 2500.
And the 20. And the 2500.
So, and you can see this is some of the chemicals that are needed to run Polo Reef.
The whole coral station.
This is the coral station over here. This is where stuff is in microscopes to inspect things. This is where Rashid has all the tanks to go diving for him and Michelle. As you can see, we have a light down over there that needed to be replaced.
That's amazing. Totally amazing.
If you guys want to see how much food it takes to feed Polo Reef.
Actually, there's a lot more upstairs in the freezer. He only takes down a little bit at a time.
And you correct me if I'm wrong. Oh, hey, Phoebe.
World famous.
Phoebe. Correct me if I'm wrong. You use about 5 pounds of food, frozen food a day?
5 pounds a day, correct?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, about that, 3 times a day. So life support system here. So these protein skimmers, they are taller than me. I am 6'4". These protein skimmers are 10 feet.
That's amazing. Now, if y'all need a protein skimmer,
2 protein skimmers
bigger than most rooms.
So this is a sulfur reactor here. There's 2 protein skimmers running.
Yeah, sulfur reactor chamber for the sulfur, and then a separate chamber for aragonite to bring the pH back up.
Wow.
And then you have the ORP going too.
Yep. The ozone's right there. It's 2.5 grams of ozone. Pop it into one of the skimmers.
Absolutely amazing.
These are the big reactors. They run carbon and GFO.
Carbon GFO right here.
Yeah,
So these are the 2 reactors here. So this staircase here comes down. This goes up to the office for the 2500 and the other 150-gallon cube. So this was what a lot of work was done to today.
Today we reset this system. This is now, we moved a lot of that LPS and other stuff into here. You guys see it? You see what clip? Yeah, you could, right? Yeah.
Oh, beautiful.
So this is what we call System 1 over here.
Some of these things
Now, where will those go?
What was that?
Where will those go?
Some of these are being saved for the drop down and some for the 2500.
Right.
Awesome.
This is positive power.
Now, some of it you can see, like the Duncans are a little upset. Everything was
They
chipped.
moved today.
Beautiful. Your signal's a little bit weak there, back where you're at.
So this right here, goes what, 20 feet underground?
I think, well, if you include with it, I think the sumps are 14 below that.
So
it's like 35.
So this is where the salt is mixed, though, correct?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
So
open this up? Come here, baby. Come here.
Sure makes my 5-gallon buckets look measly.
That should be full.
Doing okay, Robert Kane. Glad to see you.
So right down here, you can kind of see the shape of the holding tank.
Wow.
That's Andrew's RO water.
No, that's
this is
salt water.
This is all salt water. How many gallons?
5,000.
5,000 gallons. How about that for a water change, guys?
5,000, and that's generally what you do, right, Andrew? Is about a 5,000-gallon water change when you do it.
5 at the most, but we'll do small ones, 1,500, 2,000.
All right.
And then we got a bunch of fish in quarantine that are in chloroquine phosphate now because we had a urinaria outbreak, of course, from chromis and anthias. But I think we got it under control.
So you can see Andrew is pretty meticulous. Everything is dated of when it started, how much copper's in the tank.
We took the copper out here, and now with chloroquine. So this is maybe an old sticker. Yeah.
Old sticker.
Yeah.
Andrew, someone has asked, how often do you do a water change on the 17,000-gallon?
How often? You backwash it once a week, right?
Yeah, so the backwash is like minimum 700 to 1,000 gallons just to clean up the sand filter. And then we take, I'd say, another 500 to 1,000 out of the tank directly into those coral vats. Because I know that I know that water's good.
Yep.
So that water feeds those coral vats.
Yep.
And those coral vats are about 100, 125 each, and we do about 50% water change once a week.
Okay.
So when you add all that up, you think we're changing 1,500 to 2,000 gallons a week?
Wow. Now, when you take a piece of coral, say you got a new piece of coral and it's been through your quarantine process, which I know is huge, and you're getting ready to put it into the 17,000-gallon, do you do like a final inspection of it, like get the microscope out, just really go over?
Now we're really paranoid about it because we have had flatworms in the past, and we're still managing a slight flatworm, aquaporal flatworm problem in the main display. We go in there periodically and blow the coral off with RO water, and that seems to be and keeping the flow on them, and seems to be holding them at bay. And but once in a while you see some eggs, and you're like, oh my God. So we're really more meticulous these days, and nothing gets in there without some inspection. Obviously, things like shallots that don't carry bugs, that kind of thing, will make it in there sooner rather than acros.
I gotcha.
All right, so this is 2 of the fish quarantine systems over here.
Yeah.
Andrew, can you talk to us a little bit about what is in quarantine right now and what issues, if any, that you're having?
And what medications?
Anthias and chromis, which are the uranema carriers, and a bunch of flagtail grunts, and some miscellaneous things, but it's basically Anthias and chromis over there and over there.
Couple tanks.
And a bunch of cardinals.
And cardinals as well.
So we start seeing uranemia on the chromises and on the Anthias and we need to switch medicines from copper metro to chloroquine phosphate and start thinking about formalin. And so that's what we did. We switched the last 2 days. Copper out, chloroquine in. Lost some fish, but they would probably be the ones we lost anyway. And Anthias are not so happy in chloroquine anyway, so you're going to lose some of that. But frankly, I think it looks like the urinary infections are going away and it's healing.
Good.
We're also dosing Canna for secondary infections and in the food with Metro.
So
Gotcha.
sometimes the Wi-Fi is
How-
not the greatest back here.
Right.
So
Now,
this
how
is
long will you leave those chromies and anthias in the quarantine? How much longer do you think?
how much longer for these guys in quarantine?
Well, given I just changed it, like they reset the clock back forever. They were ready to go Jan 15th, but the clock just restarted.
Gotcha.
I need 30 days. I need 30 days of.
So these are some of the frags that Rashid's fragged up in the tank.
Yep, this is a clam tank that we're using as a frag tank.
So then there's also an experiment going on here with Nubum coral.
Uh-huh.
And then these are a couple other pieces that I brought Andrew today.
Beautiful Blue Ridge.
Blue Ridge, and then Blueberry Fields acro. And then we got a bunch of biota yellow tangs in the back. And then this is one of the
grow-out tanks where some of those corals will eventually make it here. The really special ones that we don't want to put to the 17,000.
Wow.
If I'm correct, these are all Rashid's old fish, correct?
Yeah, those are Rashid's fish that I quarantined again, and we just chopped them in here with the purple yerples. And Rashid's yellow tag is bullying my yerples. You think that's a shock?
All right, where's the yerples at so we can...
The yerples, they're usually out this right-hand corner. Let's look for them.
Those yerples. That's amazing.
And there's the other one. See them put together?
Yep. Robert King wants to know if you tried Cheeto yet. He's anxious to see
Yeah,
the
we
results.
feed them. There's some of these little clowns right there. These baby clowns, they're all in here, this system.
So there's Robert King's clowns in the back over
Couple
there.
of them, yep. Along with the other ones around.
Awesome. That's totally amazing.
So this is the other 300-gallon grow-out tank. This one has the rocks that Aqua Rocks made.
It will be someday folding coral.
Only
So-
coral?
You don't want to go
Yeah,
down there.
it's too loud down there, so we won't go down there, but that's where the sump is, and all the pumps, mechanical pumps to pump everything back up.
You just want to check
Gotcha.
my cork washer, because that was a big deal today. I made a video on my group. Not that way. This engine that doses 24 hours a day cork washer, the head finally, stopped spinning or priming, or it's got a broken head. So the guys took it down and they tried to see if they could fix it. At the end of the day, we just ordered parts, and I ordered a separate unit too, because I always have two, and I didn't have two
Backup.
of these. Backup. In the meantime, I went back to gravity feed. The sump's below us.
Yep.
It's just a valve, and it's dripping.
So just a slow drip.
Yes, and the problem is slow drips with cork end up clogging.
Okay.
So, but for 2 days until the new machine comes, it will work fine.
So how much is going in the main tank a day?
40 gallons a day of evaporation. 45 gallons of evaporation a day.
So 45
And 1 cup of cork.
and 1 cup of cockwater in the tank.
45 gallons a day of evaporation, guys. Can you imagine?
So that's probably the size of most people's tanks. Now, so we're gonna move this dolly over here. Yeah.
Okay, good. I was saying hi to my grandson.
Excuse me. Check on Skynet, right?
So we call Andrew calls this Skynet. So this is the wiring to run Polo Reef.
Man.
So that's one of the reasons
That's
why
crazy.
this is why the 2500's not up. The guy that does all the automation was
sick.
He's very sick last year, so we're waiting on him.
Oh.
And then there'll be another one of these all wired up in the back for the 2500.
Not quite as common.
Wow. Totally amazing. There's
So
a
if you guys look
lot
here,
goes on behind the scenes. Oh, there. I like that. Yes.
The computer. The computer's pretty cool. I can see all sorts of things. I see the skimmers. I can see the ORP and what the pumps are doing in the skimmers and so forth. We can wash the skimmers. We can surge valves. I can shut them on and off. I can put them on auto. Blah blah blah. Closed loop. I get to see the action of the closed loops and the sand filter specifically. The main pumps. And then there's a bunch of other maintenance things that, here the lights.
Wow.
so you can see everyone at home. You can see how he sets his lights up.
I use 10 to 15%, 10 to 17% white, 10 to 17, and I run the blues, hundy, 75, 75, a hundy, 75, a hundy.
So you can see these are also the shapes. So these are the two lights up at the front of the tank that are 1,000 watts, and then the rest are what, 500 to 350.
Yeah, no more 350.
We got rid of them, so all 500.
Yeah, all 500.
So all these round little circles you're seeing, these are all the 500 watt lights, and they're all max spec lighting, commercial grade lighting for the tank.
Totally amazing. That's just mind blowing, guys.
So then out back here, it's getting dark out here, but these are the generators, backup generators, if Andrew lost power, which he did before he went on vacation.
Oh, yeah.
These kick in, and these will run, one will run the tank, and the other one will run the house. And
This is the dehumidification unit for white, and there was actually tripped this morning. And because it was tripped, the circuit breaker, there was more humidity than
normal.
in here, in this room here, and that's why my ozone didn't work effectively because the air wasn't as dry.
And then these AC units are actually Andrew's chillers.
Yeah.
And then the regular ACs for the house are up over that wall.
Now, Andrew, through the power outage, did you suffer any losses of anything? Did anything go haywire?
No, but the transfer switch ended up like it wasn't like 1, 2, 3. Like the house was dark for like more than like a minute before the transfer switches kicked in. So they came to service the generators. They found oil leaks, and they found like this engine's ready to blow up unless we service this part. So it turns out that I'm happy it actually happened because they came back and they found the problem. But if we do lose power in the next 2 or 3 days before the parts come, I have to hit a button manually and add oil every 10 minutes.
Oh my God.
To keep them running. But we're on the case. I'm just saying, like, these are the crazy things that happen, and then you wonder if it happened for a reason.
Right.
So sometimes something bad can be something good.
Right, exactly.
Blessing in disguise.
We lost power. They went on. The transfer switches didn't go on smooth. So the guys came here to service it, and voila, they find this big problem.
Everything happens for a reason, Andrew.
There we go.
All right, so that's the chillers. We'll show you the what heats the system now.
If that's the chillers, I can't imagine a heater.
So another room. So originally this was supposed to be Andrew's movie theater room. It's a pretty good movie theater if you like fish stuff.
He better start watching that fish stuff then, because that's what's playing.
All right, so this is most of the dive room and the heaters. So Rashid's dive suit and Andrew's new dive suit since Andrew went diving. Michelle's dive suit. Anyone who dives, this is their equipment.
The closet.
So closet area.
You want to see huge breakers? This was the breaker that tripped before. You see, upstairs deck drum, it was tripped.
Gotcha.
So generally, you're not going to see anything like this in a normal residential home.
1,600 amps in this house.
Unless you're at Polo Reef.
1,600 amps.
And we just breakers. Now, I'll meet Andrew over here. This is what heats the tanks over here at Polo Reef.
2 lock-in bars, combined 1.2 million BTU. And they're able to go, one doesn't work, it switches off, etc., etc. The truth of the matter is that it hardly ever need to be on to do the tank. When they're usually on is when we heat the RO water up. So we can heat up 5,000 gallon vat of that 60-degree RO water.
Yep.
You know how it comes out? 60.
Yep.
To about 77. 7 minutes.
7 minutes.
Wow.
5,000 gallons or 5,000 gallons of water.
10 minutes.
So.
I know we can get it for 74 in 7.
Wow. Amazing.
Yeah.
So, and this is just, you know, a lot of people probably don't see a lot of this stuff in Andrew's videos. You know, one of the reasons, since I was here, I figured, hey, you know, I had talked to you this morning, Tyann, so I said, you know, let's talk with Andrew. Let's see, maybe if he wants to do a quick live, we can show what's new over here at Polo Reef.
The
You know,
new
I
and
gotta
the
tell you what's really new from a woman's perspective. I don't know how many women are on you here.
Okay.
This is, we have tile now. I want you to know that we didn't have tile a few weeks ago.
Yeah, this was all cement.
Yeah, it was disgusting.
And plywood where the pumps were going.
Yeah.
Awesome.
So now
That looks good.
and we protected our asses in case there was some kind of plumbing issue. We can still get to all the pipes in our crawl space that is going from the 17,000 downstairs.
Awesome. Well, you thought of it all.
Yeah. Hopefully we did.
Sometimes you have to think of it all.
Obviously this room is a mess now, but once this is all cleared out and stuff, this whole thing is empty. And now that we're okay on the bottom, I started working on the ceiling. And they've been working on this box ceiling now, drilling in my head for 3 weeks. There was so much electrical work of stuff they had to move and then box out because there were so many of these like soffits, you know?
Uh-huh.
And now the metal things are done, and I think I'm going to get a drop ceiling in the next couple of days. And this project will be over. And so they'll get a paint coat here.
Yeah.
And this lab will become a nice looking room.
So a lot of you guys, I've been coming over here about a year and a half now when I first came over to Andrew. Like a lot of us, you know, met Andrew online, you know, for, you know, both have the passion of fish tanks, of course. And then me and Andrew also share another hobby, which is high-end audio. So something we bonded with, and then, you know, I started the Coral Company and started bringing Andrew some stuff, and Rashid's over here full-time with his team, and they constantly something going on over here at Polo Reef.
He doesn't have time to dive in. So I'm saying it's like it's coming about the business of Polo Reef. It's getting to keep track of.
So
I'm gonna just shout out to Andre and Moonshiners with all your elements.
For sure. Hey, and Andre needs to get some bigger bottles for you.
Oh shit! But you know what my bigger bottles are, Tyann? Right here. They're in the boxes still. FedEx. Iron, molybdenum, manganese, fluoride, selenium, just boxes, and we got some out in the shed also.
Oh my goodness.
So, and then also, so when I first started coming, the table was here, went this way. Yep. The fridge was over here. There was another fish tank here.
Yep.
So more dive stuff here.
A lot of things have changed. Now, Andrew, someone asked a question in the comments. Um, we see the 17,000 gallon tank and, the generators, the coolers, the heaters, and all the equipment that runs the, Polo Reef. What they asked was, when you built your home, was it built around the design of the tank and stuff?
No, but the extension, basically the lab ended the house, and the whole quarantine system, generators and sub-basement, that's all an extension. Okay? So, and the lab was their garage. So we did construction basically, and because we were doing extensions and building sub-basements, the roofs were off. There was no roof. We were building it. And so we were able to bring big towers and stuff. We did it all without the roofs on. So while it was an existing house that we added on, and as we added on, we brought the stuff in properly.
Now, if I remember from one of our conversations, you had a contingency on this house that if you couldn't build this tank, you weren't buying this house.
I knew the extension I needed.
Yep. So as long as you got the permits, this was going to be your permanent home, and this is where the tank was going. Yeah. All right, guys. So what I'm going to do now is I'm actually going to take you up top. So this is where, when you guys see Rashid diving into the tank, this is where Rashid actually comes into the tank.
Right.
There's also some boards sometimes too. But this is where Andrew had a custom-made piece right here that comes across that, what's it, aluminum, Andrew, where the rocket sits on?
It's fiberglass.
So it's a fiberglass piece that can support people that comes over here, and then the rocks are built onto it. So when Rashid dives in, or Michelle, this is where they're diving in from here, and then they work their way down there into the tank. So you guys can see the lighting and how the lighting is through the day. So one light's off, well actually a couple are off right now, and this is the lighting that basically lights Polo Reef. Now you guys also, if anyone was, sometimes I heard a question about people wondering why he didn't do halides. He just doesn't have the height for the halides.
Yeah, you try it back with that or something trying to work on.
So when
It's too dangerous, heat-wise.
Yeah, heat-wise too dangerous, and when they have to do any work on this, they actually slide boards over these metal pieces here. How often do dives happen?
Dives?
Yeah.
At least once a week.
Once a week.
At least.
Sometimes twice. Sometimes multiple in a day, depending if something's knocked over.
Right.
The main thing in this tank is the health of all the fish and the coral. So if something does get knocked over,
Another question: how we feed the fish? And people get a kick out of it. We still use a clear pole that they use the pool nets.
So that's a pool net. That's how they feed the fish.
But instead we get the net off, we zip tie a plastic Tupperware
Scooper.
Whatever.
Yeah, it's a scooper.
Scooper, and we put the frozen food in there and just plop.
So also this is how the tangs get fed right here. This is also custom made over here. So on a pole, these are clips, and if you see how it's spun around, when it's time to feed the fish, they spin the pole to extend the rope and bring the this down into the tank with all the seaweed clips onto these clips to feed the fish in the tank.
How much seaweed do you feed a day?
How much seaweed a day, Andrew?
Probably 12 total clips with 4 or 5 strips per strip twice a day. So I don't know, about 48 strips?
48 strips of seaweed a day.
Wow. Okay. Now get closer to Andrew because I'm going to ask him a question.
Certainly. Here, let's step out of here where it's a little bit quieter. They got some questions.
We can have better service.
Yes.
Okay, Andrew.
Yeah, I'll take a Coke Zero. Thank you.
All right. What else doing, Diane?
Okay.
So what was the question you were about to ask?
Okay, Andrew, this is kind of a two-part question. Okay, we've seen you dive for us around Christmas. That was our little Christmas special where you dove in the tank. And number one, can we expect to see another dive from you? And number two, did you get hurt when you fell in there?
That's an interesting three-part question. Okay. So everyone understands I'm very comfortable scuba, and like what happened in there was I was using Michelle's vest and weight, and we put an extra weight in there, but it wasn't enough. And it's very different when you're buoyant laying down, this way than when you're walking on water. And I felt like I was walking on the freaking moon in there because I wasn't weighted enough on my feet. And then when I got to a corner that I wasn't used to, the current, the blow took me.
Oh.
And I started tipping over. And I was totally relaxed. Like the only thing I was worried about was the Monty I was crunching. I heard a lot of, you know that movie Castaway where he crunches his leg?
Yeah.
I kept hearing that. My nightmares, I heard that. But no, I was fine.
Good.
The next time I go in, I need to just re-weight and figure out my weight situation, because as soon as I got where the big flow was, I tipped over.
Right.
It wasn't heavy enough on my feet.
So I don't know if you
I
guys
don't have that
can see
problem.
these right there. That is where some of the flow is. He's got flow there, here. You got the big monsters in the back.
Well, that's the thing. The monster in the back is blowing this way, and that's the one that creates that pulse action. So like I would come over here and it'll be like, whoa. But Rashid's got a
But
lower
Santa
center
saved the
back,
day.
Yeah.
and I should have taken his freaking weight.
Yeah, you might have been a little bit more
That
stable.
probably would have been inches lower, shorter than that by now, though.
So when I was
go.
showing everybody the fiberglass, this is the actual piece of fiberglass here. When you come in,
Oh,
the
yeah.
tank is here.
And actually, another piece runs underneath. You see, underneath the bridge, in between the two tunnels in the back.
So, and if you guys seen Andrew's videos this week with the new
pumps, you'll see some ugly orange wires in the back. That's one of the pumps being hidden in the rocks, and the other one is tied to the lower beam right there, the further out towards the other window.
Right there.
Yeah.
So there's a pump there, and then you can see the wire coming down there.
That's in the rocks.
And that's what's feeding in the rocks.
And for anyone that is new and just seeing this and stuff, this is a 17,000-gallon display tank. And what we seen earlier was whatever runs the tank, the heaters, the chillers, the giant skimmers, the reactors, the computer board. I mean, all of that. That is what runs that tank, along with a little small team of people that keeps it going. And now
So
the acrylic is 4 inches thick on that tank, correct?
4 inches.
4 inches.
Totally
So
amazing.
And you can see how it's just molded perfectly.
It is.
Did they bend it, Andrew?
It's beautiful.
They built it like that.
So they built it like this. Came
bonded.
bonded on a truck, used cranes.
Lowered it through the ceiling.
No, they dug a huge hole in the backyard. I think you can go online and see the video of that.
Yeah.
It's just beautiful. It's totally amazing. Okay,
And that's Mr. World
Andrew?
famous Mr. Picasso.
Yep.
Andrew, someone has asked in the comments, why did you have? What made you want a tank that size?
Drugs. I don't know the answer to that. Literally, Jonathan held up a string the day we were talking. Okay, I know I was going through a divorce. I went through a divorce. I went into a new house, a new rental. I swore that maybe in this next new house, I would I would swore to do better and bigger with the new wife. And so when we saw this house and we started designing this tank, literally we just took a string and we'd be like, is this big enough? Is this big enough? Is this? And the volume that we calculated, what the gallon is, was just an output of what we decided. We had no idea how many gallons it was going to be. And then when I found out that it was 16 or 17, I'm like, damn, we're going to be number 2 behind Bill Wan. But I'm like, that's okay. That's okay, because we're going to surpass him anyway.
That's right. And when you were stringing that string up and say, oh, yeah, that looks good, you absolutely had no idea how many gallons that was going to be.
No, we knew we wanted we knew that we wanted the eye height below the water level. Right. So we need the 7 feet to the eye. And then we started thinking about the extra 2 feet below the floor. So once we got to, and the reason why we didn't do 3 feet as opposed to 2 feet is we thought that it would, too much of the fish would go down too low. So we thought 2 feet was the right number. So then it became 9 feet deep. And then we also subtracted after that the amount of space we had on top for the ceilings. Can we work a crawl space, lighting, all that stuff up there? And so those numbers just generally worked. So the height was sort of figured early. Okay. And then literally the string was, we had the picture of the room and how big you want it this way, how big you want it this way, how does it lay out in the room better, the best. And then the gallonage was completely computed after that. It wasn't about how many gallons. If it was 14, I didn't care, whatever it was.
Right. Now I want to ask you something, and I don't know if you've been asked this before or not, but what size was, as a child, I know you grew up, I believe your father and stuff introduced you to the aquarium world and stuff. What size was your very first tank?
I don't know whether it was a 10 or a 20, whether I was the guy that, if I had a 10, I skipped to the 20 very quickly. But
I see that.
See that. Hey, I was a golden spoon kid. Right to the 20. Listen, going on bicycles with kids, riding on roads that you would never allow kids to go on now, going to these fish stores in like these crazy department stores. We're bringing these fish back home with us in our baskets and riding them back home, kissing gouramis and all those, cute fish. And we did it every weekend when I was 8. So the bug's been with me for a long time.
Yeah.
And then from there, the disease progresses from, you try, okay, after cichlids, did that, let's do discus, and then after a while, somehow salt water comes around. The natural.
Imagine that.
Things, yeah.
Aw.
So,
was it your grandfather that actually introduced you first to salt water?
Yeah, the whole thing.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
And now in the endeavor of Polo Reef, I might add that I'm wearing my Polo Reef shirt. In the endeavor of Polo Reef, tell some that haven't heard what your goals are for Polo Reef.
So the main mission,
yes,
is to give back to the hobby any way we think we should, and to continue to make this hobby grow. And so that's a big statement. But what it really means is we want to put educational videos out so there's less fish killed. There's less coral killed. We want to be putting the hobbyists and the scientists that really go after marine biology, save the reefs. We want to make sure that partnership is solid. Okay, because it's really important, because we can't just keep taking from the reefs until these places will just keep closing and banning, and they just go through rolling bans all the time.
Right.
The third thing we want to do is create a spark in young kids, the way I was sparked when I was riding on my bike.
Yeah.
Whether that's local fish store based, school based, club based, programs like extracurricular activity schools we're talking to. We're actually helping curriculum being written right now in aquarium sciences in Florida. So, it ranges from someone asking us to help them with a tank in a specific school to my kids just need squeegees and paper towels. Will you help donate that? Like it's really supplies. Could we do a Polo Reef tank and donate it to you? Dedicate it to you. They want my videos. They want to teach the kids with the videos. A couple of schools actually use my videos now in the curriculum.
Awesome.
So, I mean, and ultimately, my biggest accomplishment would be if we ever got a live stream internally in the tank, like cameras, and I was able to live stream that into hospitals of cancer kids and stuff like that.
That's amazing.
On YouTube, basically, as a separate thing, and we have connections to all the hospitals. Like, I'm on the board of lots of them, or involved in a company called Sunrise, which has cancer day camps and cancer hospital programs. So this is actually a goal that is very achievable.
Yes.
And then if it blows up from there, and people want to pay a couple of bucks a month for my live stream on their TV set, that who knows? I don't know where this is going. I have no idea. I'm just following the mission, and wherever the mission takes us, it takes us.
Well, I think what you do, Andrew, a lot is follow your heart. Right. A lot of things were set with you as young as a child, and I feel like that is the biggest reason that you want to give back to the children to inspire them.
Yes.
Because you know what it did for you. And
well, I know I didn't have an iPhone and watching my phone all day or an iPad. I was outside on my bike playing Smash Up Derby and going for road trips for fish. Yeah. And the rule was come home for dinner alive. I'm not kidding you. And now these kids are all like, you get the point. Different generation.
Most of what we see in the younger generation is this right here. Them looking at their phones, And so to spark something, that will eventually or hopefully get them to carry on, because you and I have said it both before, the kids are the future of the hobby. We're not going to be around forever. And if we can leave a legacy behind, one that someone else can follow in our footsteps and do and achieve, then we've created, we've done our mission. We've done what is required.
I had a kid today helping us for the first day, this guy, Teddy. Yeah. Teddy's 1 year out of college, okay? He has plumbing skills, electrical skills. He's a mathematician. He went to school as a mathematician, and he's still going to take his math, whatever, for the insurance company, whatever the hell those things are called. But in any event, he works at some rinky-dink Fish Tank USA. He hates it. Yep. He knows he's done freshwater growing up like I did. And he's 21 years old, and he's had 5 years of salt experience already at 21. Right there, that's better than I was doing. Like, I think I started my last year of high school, and then I took off for most of college. Yeah. He's a kid that's basically 1 year out of college, and he's deep into this shit. That right there is the future. If you can get a zillion more of those kids, this industry could grow.
I think my grandfather also had a tank, and one day me and my grandmother went out and got a panther grouper and threw in the tank, and my grandfather came home from work and said, "Where'd all the fish go?"
I love what you're doing, and for those of you that don't know, and you noticed my shirt, which is Polo Reef today, on the website, Polo Reef website, you can find some merchandise there, and the proceeds of the sales of the merchandise go directly to the charities. Correct, Andrew? That you're speaking of.
We will be listing them shortly on the website. Exactly where it's going.
Awesome. See, that's amazing. And it is all about the giving back and teaching the children, you know, how to, if you catch them when they're young like that and you spark something in them, who knows what they're going to grow up to have or become, you know, a marine biologist, anything.
I just hope these kids don't fall in love with LCDs as opposed to the real thing.
Oh.
I mean, you can make a really nice high resolution. I mean, you go to Apple TV, you float across that coral reef on Apple TV channel. You know what I'm talking about with the jellyfish, right? You see the coral reef one?
Yeah.
It's pretty nice. It's pretty nice. You know, it doesn't RTN, it doesn't STN. You don't have to keep any water in your house. You keep making programs like that and on virtual stuff. I worry about that the electronics and the video is so good now that people just put panels up in their house instead of the real thing.
I don't care how many panels you put up. To me, there's nothing like the real thing. I mean, that's where the passion comes from. I mean, you learn every day by watching your tank. And, you know, you notice if something is a little off kilter, a coral is not looking just right. You know, I mean, you get involved with it. Hands down, you know, a tank is the way to go. Panels are nice, but nothing like the real thing right there.
I think there's a song about that, isn't there?
Let me tell you guys, this is the best seat in the house right there. And that's his view when he's relaxing, trying to get through Wall Street through the day.
Absolutely.
Tomorrow. No, what time is it now? 6 p.m. the future's opening.
Yep.
6:15. I'm already open. I don't give a shit. Not working yet.
Not working. I'm gonna head back to Boston in a little bit, and then Andrew's gonna go up, eat some dinner, and spend some time with the dogs before the wife comes back home, and then
I have to ask you, Andrew.
What's that?
I have to ask you. I know that you had a vacation just a bit back, and you didn't take Phoebe. How excited was Phoebe to see you when you came back?
You know, this is a very sore subject here. Okay, it's one of the only vacations we take that are more than 7-8 days. And also my chef and wife that runs the house also take that vacation. So the dogs are still here with help. Yelson's here, Natalia's here, and she's in and out. Like, there's a lot of commotion. And they tell me that they don't bark as much. They're much more mellow. They're quieter. They're outside on the grass more. You know, they're more. They're upset. They know that their daddy's not here. I think about taking her because some of these places are very dog friendly.
Awesome.
But then I think to myself, would she really like hanging in this apartment, even though it's a beautiful 6-bedroom, beautiful apartment, by herself during the day, some strange apartment, while we're out at the beach, and as opposed to being in her own house with tons of people around. And I just always lean towards keeping her home, other than when we take them to the lake. To me, that's the precious time. I love taking the dogs to the lake.
And I've seen videos where you had Phoebe out on the boat and stuff, and you can tell they love the lake.
I love it.
Awesome.
Yeah, I think we're sort of planning the Polo Reef traveling itinerary sort of now. We have to make an Orlando stop at Top Shelf and so forth to pick up a bunch of frags that I have there, and maybe definitely have a private shopping tour. And whoever wants else meet me in Orlando, because usually there's a lot of vendors parked right at my jet. Like serving food trucks.
Yeah. They start throwing
coral trucks.
They start throwing frags up.
Now, are you going to be...
Orlando's like one of those places. I'm not kidding you.
We should go out to LA and see how that works.
Well, that's another trip. The LA trip. But that's a different kind of trip.
Wholesalers.
Wholesaler trip. And
Now, are you going to be attending? Are you going to be attending any shows this year in 23?
Before I get to that, we have a trip to visiting fan in Ohio. We promised him Tidal Gardens. So
Awesome.
I believe Pop Corals is out there, so we'll make a combo trip. And then there are shows, and we have to figure out which shows we're gonna attend to this year. Yeah.
When you decide on which shows that you're going to, will you publicly announce that?
Yeah, I wonder if I get asked to speak. I know. I don't know if they have speakers at Reef Cruises or not really. It depends.
They do. I mean, we had you a speaker at my show.
That was
in Boston.
Yeah. Are you gonna do it again?
We're gonna do 2 this year.
I mean, it's a bunch of local shows. I might be on the circuit at some point. Maybe I should just run to Boston and have some groupies. The rock band.
I'll be a groupie. I'll be a groupie.
The Polo Reef groupie. They line up at the
Partridge Family.
Swing by Arkansas and pick me up if you don't mind. I'll be your groupie. Hey, I got the shirt for it, so I'm ready.
Good. Yeah, I think so. The season to us looks like a 2,500 gallon build, a 900-gallon build, possibly removing and treating corals in this main display for flatworms, and then reintroducing 40 days later, or some kind of like breakdown and re-put together of the main display. We're not sure if that's going to happen. We want to try blowing some RO water for a little bit first. We have several grow-out tanks coming. Several, 250s and another 300. And the koi tank has to be restocked and redone and upgraded. And then we have these trips to make. So, I mean, unless I pull a grand finale, celebrity to be here. Like I've been trying to get in touch with Leon DiCaprio because he's a big
fish tank.
Ocean environmental guy, and I would love to try to raise money with him.
Awesome.
We're just working on stuff like, just in case something like that could actually happen.
Shaquille O'Neal would be
Shaq, but every time we bring Shaq up, someone else like owns him and like makes him do these dumb Instagram commercials if you watch him.
Yeah.
Oh.
Like, whatever he's doing, I don't think he wants to do.
Yeah, I think he's got. He's got multiple investors that invest with him.
That's now, real quick, and I know I'm probably keeping you guys, but real quick, can you tell us any of the new updates for the koi pond? How about that?
We're gonna first.
Gotta finish the logo for that.
Yeah, but we're gonna install natural gas heaters in both ponds instead of one electric heater that runs stupid electric bills and only heats one pond. So we're going to do it the right way. And doing that, the lines may need some digging. We're actually considering digging down another foot and a half on the big pond in front.
Oh.
So, yeah, we may actually really tear it apart. But in the meantime, the fish will be in the other pond. And until, they go back and forth until it's finished. And then the restocking starts. We're going to probably take out all those stones that my wife wanted in because she thought was pretty. And then we realized quickly that they trap food just like they trap detritus. And all the koi guys keep their koi just with liners and drains in the bottom.
I got you.
And that's what we're going to mimic because the koi are too nice not to give in those conditions.
They're beautiful. Yeah. Oh my gosh, Polo pond. That's amazing. Now, will you be getting some more koi for the pond?
Yes. We want to, there's another filter called, don't ask me why they call it this because it's known to you and me as like a trickle filter, right? They call it a shower.
Oh.
People. The shower filters. I'm like, what are you talking about? Taking a shower? Who's taking a shower? And then they explain to me what it is. I'm like, oh, it's a trickle filter. And
Right.
it goes through some special biomedia crap. You don't have to worry about
Probably
it.
German, right?
Yeah, sure. So anyway, we're going to install some of those, and we'll be in business hopefully by June buying new koi.
A lot of the new upgrades will begin in the spring when the weather straightens up.
Yeah, I would think. And I would think the 2,500 and this 900-gallon drop down really start going aggressively then too.
You've got a busy schedule, guy.
I know.
But you love that.
Already, I haven't checked where the S&P futures opened up after a long weekend, whatever, and I would have never not. I would have been on the phone at 5:55, waiting for that 6 o'clock bell to turn, and instead I'm talking to you. And that's what this hobby does. And that's what this hobby does. It distracts.
It does.
Deflects. It can be just as stressful or more stressful, but it enables you if you can multitask. Some people, the people that can't multitask, they should not do this. They should not do saltwater reef.
Right. Well, now I feel special that you're sitting here talking to me instead of watching the markets and stuff.
I should go to a different page and really watch it, but I'll watch it soon.
Well, I am honored anytime that you want to talk to me or come on with me. I love it.
Best discussion ever. When will things going well?
Hold on, let's see what happens.
Yeah, the best distraction ever when things are going well. That's right.
Yeah, of course.
But then again, we are distracted when things are off kilter too because we're busy. We're trying to fix it.
That's the anxiety part that oh my, like I gotta fix this thing, and then once you know it's getting fixed, that anxiety literally just drops off the curve.
Yeah, that's right.
The difference is, for me to fix something in this tank, I either have to plan a dive or plan a pump shutdown. Like it's not. Let me just unplug this thing and put in some MP40s.
Right.
It's not. I can't do that. It's like turning the Titanic.
Right.
Gotta watch out for it.
It's until you get into even. Okay, you've got a 17,000. It doesn't matter if it's a 17,000 gallon or if it's a 40-gallon breeder. When you really get into that and you start watching and you see your fish doing this and that and the other and the corals, man, does that take you away from the everyday hustle and bustle of life?
Yes. With the exception of the social media part of this business, Tyann, which could get, as you know, very different than being a hobbyist.
It is.
And
it is.
I told my wife and I made a deal, like if you ever get aggravated enough, just cut back the social media part and just be a hobbyist again. And that's fine. I think either way is good, but if you can take it and multitask it and you know, if you have that drive ambition, I want to grow, I want to grow my group, I want to grow my brand. And if that's the kind of person you are, this is a perfect job for you. As long as you can do your first job.
That's right. That is right. And never forget your footprints, your boundaries, because that makes a difference. So don't lose a hold of those. Gosh, Andrew, it was so exciting to be able to talk to you today.
You too.
Man, I love it. I always get excited when you get to come on and talk and we just kick back and see what's going on with each other. I love that.
Yeah. So nice. What night is this? Sunday night. What you weren't going on tonight, right?
Do what?
You weren't going on tonight, were you?
No, until when Eric messaged me, I had no makeup on. My hair wasn't fixed, and that's why I said, give me 30 minutes and I'll be ready.
All right. I've been in the same gross clothes 7:30 in the morning, I came down to make the donuts because I knew Yeltsin was not here.
That's what I felt like when I started driving to New York this morning.
I mean, I have Yeltsin day off Sunday, and Rashid and Dunn and those guys come in by 9. So between 7:30 and 9, I check things around. I'm snooping around. I'm like dying to dose because I like to get it done and not wait till 9 o'clock. I'm just like one of those guys, But I started already like seeing problems with dehumidification and the cork water, and then I'm like, oh no, it's gonna be one of those mornings, and we had to pull the pumps and blah blah blah. But we had 7 guys here working today. 7.
Wow.
So I felt somewhat eased, and 2 or 3 of them were here to make space and take in Eric's corals and inspect them.
Wow.
And then we started running some experiments too. We had the microscope. We found what was that? A flatworm. And what I did is I tried different like the chemicals that we use in the hobby to see what would kill it and how much needed was to kill it. And Moonshiner's new Reef Coral Deep is
that the one that the wicked shit?
No, we used it. It killed it in like 30 seconds. That thing was melted into a million pieces.
That's great. It's good to know.
Now, what is that called again?
I believe it's the Moonshiner dip. I think it's called Exodus.
Exodus, yeah. I
Exodus.
Andre sent me some and Andrew some to try out. So we use it at our shop now for all the corals when they come in. That's what we're dipping right now, and actually be able to see it work today underneath the microscope was pretty cool to see how quick it.
I mean, I'm not a big plugger. I'm a pretty independent guys here, but I actually, there's another product of Andre's I've been using is vitamins. In the food. It's like a goopy
Yellow.
like. It looks like you've had some phlegm in your nose for a few weeks in a jar.
How funny. Is it that
it's like
thick?
It looks like rubber cement, but
is it that thick yellow vitamin? Yeah.
It's on the clear side. It's not so yellow.
Yeah.
Let me see the name of that one.
So I
really like it.
I had someone ask about the flatworm. We did record that. So Andrew's microscope, you can record. So we actually recorded the flatworm underneath the microscope, and then you can actually see me with a dropper starting to add the medicine to see how long it actually took to kill the flatworm.
Now,
Which was.
Let me ask you this, Sarah. Did you compare like that dip to and get a different new flatworm, so to speak, and try a different dip?
We wanted to try that, but we only had one flatworm.
Oh, well, that's a good thing.
So the experiment only lasted one dip.
One dip. I got you. Well, I mean, that would be something really cool because I do know that you guys have got a ton of medications.
Now,
oh, yeah, that's
a little small for me. Vitamin X.
Yeah.
I have used it on flake foods, on its pellets. I've used it on a few things, and I think the fish are healthier.
So you put that directly on the foods?
Yes. Soak it right in, just the way you would soak pellets. But I think I like to soak flake foods because it goes flake. It's a very heavy solution, so it's sort of. It's not gonna like demolish the flake with liquid.
What kind of flakes do you use?
Do we have any of the food though?
Which one?
The flake food? The flake food.
Flakes?
Yeah. So
we use for greens, spirulina and Ocean Nutrition flakes.
I'm gonna turn this around here.
Oh, okay.
Then we use our pellets are basically a combination of New Life, this North Fin Veggie, and TDO.
Awesome. Now I use TDO. I like that too.
And I guess really what determines the pellets is what medications we're putting into them. So some of these pellets absorb medication better than others. Like the New Spectrum,
Yeah.
soak it up.
Yeah.
These kinds that are packed tight like this,
Yeah.
hard, they don't soak up.
What about the TDO? Does that soak stuff up?
The bigger size does a little bit. I've asked them whether or not by doing that, am I taking the red stuff out, whatever.
Gotcha.
So I don't know. I'm not sure.
That's all.
And then
Awesome.
we put the vitamins in the frozen food too. That's a refrigerator. Dinkins.
You got Dinkins Aquatics?
Look at there. Lincoln's Aquatic Gardens. That's a good stuff. Look at that. There's a whole box.
Look at this. Look at this.
Coral cane.
Or okay. Hey, now Andrew, I use that.
Yeah, I'm making you royalties now, Diane.
I use that coral cane, and I really like it.
Yeah. So we've been
Reefroids.
we are mixing Fido, coral cane, and Benepets, and a little bit of oyster feast and eggs, in all-in-one solution.
Awesome. That you just got a whole mixture of it, whatever there.
It's a bartender, you know. They take a little bit of this, a little bit of this, and they throw everything in to walk you out.
That's right.
But we do rotate.
Watch that stare.
We do rotate the Benepets when the nutrients are right. And at the right level, and we'll use Reefroids if they're low.
Oh,
because Reefroids add phosphates and nitrates.
Gotcha.
I tell you, me not being able to see the old stare messes me up.
You're getting old.
Oh, gonna be 41 in a month and a half.
Oh.
So yeah, the Andre sludges seem to work pretty good, huh?
So, what do you think so far since you've started using the Moonshiners? How much of the
Okay, so I am not a good guy to test on Moonshiners. Moonshiners guys, they don't want to do water changes. In fact, the sonic signature of the salt that they put in looks completely different after they've rebuffed up to Andre's, ATI's levels. You guys hear me?
Yep.
So the problem I have is because we're doing 2,000 gallons of water changes a week, which, let's just call it 10%. After 2 or 3 of those, I now have a third dilution from whatever salt I'm using, which I'm using ESV.
Yeah.
And ESV's sonic signature is different than dosing all these. He's got a lot of them, but some of them are low and some of them are different. And so we're just trying to figure out the balance between, if we're going to have to do some water changes and it's ESV salt, I know where those numbers and parameters are. I know where Andre wants to keep his. We think it makes very little sense to keep fighting back and forth. And by the time you do that, then you spend tons of money to rebuff it up. And then you do water changes and it comes down. And so basically, you're always doing things to set each other off.
Right.
I think we're going to take the middle route, which is buff up a little higher than Bob's salt, but not quite to Andre's levels, Moonshiner's levels, and really make sure that they're just bioavailable in the salt, and not worry whether it's if the fluoride is 0.5 or 0.6 and not 1. I'm not concerned.
Yeah.
Now, if I'm correct, wasn't it recently Bob just changed some of the salt just for you?
Yeah, he did.
So you have your own special formula of salt?
He's done a couple of things. First, because we run a sulfur reactor, he makes me, you know the part 1, part 2? For alkalinity dosing. Part 1, actually, the way he makes it is he adds, I don't know if I'm telling trade secrets, he adds something sulfate. Something sulfate to balance out the water. And sulfate is one of the things that creep up when you have a sulfur reactor. So he makes me 2-part X sulfate.
Oh, I gotcha.
So it's he calls it carbonate liquidity. And what it really is the baking soda. It's like liquid baking soda.
Right.
Yep.
With no other trace elements in it. That's what it is.
Yeah. That's awesome.
And then when the sulfates and calcium went haywire, he made me salt that had calcium of 300.
Mm-hmm.
And we used magnesium chloride, not sulfate. And he calculated that what was the right ratios. So then when we did one water change, boom, the calculation was right. The next water change, the calcium went down from 480 to 425. Sulfates went right down from 32 to 2700, like right spot on.
Awesome.
So he makes these corrective salts.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome.
Can you imagine getting your own salt made?
I can't.
Can you imagine understanding the chemistry behind all this stuff? I can't.
No, I can't.
So
I'm like Travis in the comments. I should have paid more attention in chemistry class.
yeah, it's funny, you know, knowing Andrew the last few years and just getting to learn. Like, I learn new stuff every day. The amount of reading Andrew does just to stay on top of everything, whether it be a disease on a fish or a coral, his quarantine system. The reason why you don't see any really issues over here, just maybe a little minor hiccup here and there, is because he stays on top of everything. Soon as he sees something, he brings it up to the team, and then, you know, over there on the microscope, or they're inspecting it, you know, on the table, looking through, and everything's done. And then what's the next process?
Yeah, the action process is how deep, how much infestation is it? How deep do you want to go down the rabbit hole?
That's right.
Sterilize the system. Like, you know, you got to figure out what the plan is. Got to go from plan for attack.
Yeah. That's awesome.
So is there any other questions before we let you guys go? I got a 3.5-hour drive back to Boston.
Awesome. I just want to tell Andrew how much I greatly appreciate him and everything he does for me, Tank Talk, all that. I appreciate it so very much.
Mwah.
Yeah,
I love Tank Talk.
It's you know, it's a big family, and you know, we all help each other, and you know, that's the only way this hobby's gonna grow.
It is. And it's going to be the future of the hobby, you know, especially reaching out to the children and furthering their education. And hopefully they will pay more attention in chemistry class than I did.
Some of this stuff, yes, chemistry,
Andrew secretly has his PhD in chemistry, just no one knows about it.
Ah, there you go.
Really being a pharmacist.
Yeah, and I got my new swag today.
Oh, look at you go. Look at you go. That's awesome.
So I got the Coke. I'll take the Coke, or maybe I'll grab a colder one before I head out. So, you know, I talked to you this morning, Tyann. I told you we would do this, so I'm glad it was able to go as long as it did and answer as many questions as, you know, we possibly could. So I'm going to wrap up here in a couple minutes, head back home. But it's always a treat to come over here and to have such a great friend, that man behind there who believes in me and supports me, and, you know, has faith that when I say I got some special acros for him, you know, we make it happen.
Oh, for sure. Well, you have a safe trip back.
So it was all documented, us bringing in the corals today. So watch out on Polo Reef. There's going to be a video of what went on today, all right?
Awesome. I look forward to it.
One went out today right before you got here.
So multiple videos coming.
Yeah. Hey, awesome. I love it. I always look forward to the videos.
All right. Diane, well, thank you so much for hosting us this evening, and I'll chat with you soon.
All right. Thank you so very much.
Good night, guys.
Good night.
Bye,
Signing
sweetie.
off from Polo Reef.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Night.
Thank you guys so very much for tuning in to the pop-up live. I hate I kept you so very long tonight, but we had a lot to cover and a lot of new things to see and hear what's coming up. So if you've not checked out poloreef.com, be sure and head over there and do that. And click on the merchandise tab. You will find some really awesome things just like this over there. And you will know that 100% of the proceeds from the sale of the merchandise does go to benefit the charities. And most of those charities are directed towards children and furthering the hobby with the children. So anyway, y'all please go check it out. Don't forget about our normal Tuesday Night Live, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, and we will be having a sit-down chat with Cheesy Corals. So you don't want to miss that. Guys, thank you so very much for tuning in, and I will see you guys Tuesday night, 7 p.m. Central Standard Time, right here on Tank Talk. Bye, y'all.